Hi everybody, and welcome to Healthy Bites. Healthy Bites is a collaboration between Nevada County Public Health and Nevada County Media. My name is Shauna Schultz. I'll be your host. I am a registered dietitian and nutrition educator with the CalFresh Healthy Living Program, and I'm really excited to show you some meals that are easy, that are tasty, they're healthy, but they're also family friendly and affordable. All of the recipes that I use on Healthy Bites can be found on eatfresh.org. So go ahead and check out that website. It has lots of great ideas for meals and recipes. And in today's episode, we are going to focus on summer salads. And these salads will highlight summer produce. We're getting close to summertime and all the wonderful produce, the bounty that comes with it. So we'll be thinking about some salads that we might be able to serve up this summer. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first dish that we're going to make is a veggie quinoa salad. And I'm going to start by making the dressing for this salad, which is very, very simple. It's just olive oil, zested lemon, and lemon juice, and a little salt and pepper. So very versatile. It can go with a lot of different types of salads, even pasta dishes. So we'll go ahead and put that together. In this cup here, I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then we want to first zest the lemon before we squeeze the juice. So here I have a microplane that I'll be using. Very handy little tool for zesting citrus like lemons, limes, oranges. And there's a lot of flavor in the zest. So it's good to be able to use most of the lemon if we can. So what I do is I face the zester up so that when you zest it, the lemon zest stays within the zester itself, so it doesn't fall out all over the place. It just makes it easier to get it into your salad dressing. And you can just kind of scrape it along your lemon and kind of move the lemon around. You just want to make sure not to get too much of the white part of the lemon. That just lends a little bitterness. So you can just go real quick over the lemon. You can see that it's kind of all catching here in the zester. And it smells so fragrant when you do this. And it really adds a nice burst of flavor to your dressing when you use the zest. All right, so I'll go ahead and carefully, you need to use a little knife here, get our zest into our olive oil. It smells really, really yummy and fresh. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tap it, just for good measure. All right, now we'll juice our lemon. I'm gonna give it a nice little roll under my hand here. You'll get a lot more juice out of your citrus if you give it a quick roll first. It kind of breaks apart those cells and just makes it juicier. And then I'm going to use this juicer. This is probably my most favorite kitchen tool. I use it all the time. Lemons, limes, oranges, you'd need a bigger one, but even though this is yellow for lemon, you can fit a lime in here, but they do make special ones for limes also. And we're going to squeeze our lemon into our olive oil. And we'll go ahead and do the other half as well. Ooh, got a nice little splatter there. All right. So I'm gonna get a fork here and we'll just give this a quick stir. And we will add a pinch or 2 or 3 of some salt, and then we'll also add some black pepper. And that's it. This is our salad dressing. Very simple, but it adds a ton of flavor to the dish. All right, so I'm gonna set that over here and we'll get started on putting our salad together. So in this bowl here, I have some cooked quinoa. I cooked about 1 cup And instead of using water, I used some low sodium vegetable broth, about 2 cups. And that just gives it more flavor, just makes it a little more interesting when you're putting together a salad. But you can use water in place of broth, and that's fine as well. Quinoa is great because it cooks very quickly in about 10 to 12 minutes. So very quick to quick, also very nutritious and great for salads. It's a higher protein grain. It's considered a whole grain, and it has a lot of fiber and vitamins and minerals too. So overall, great little grain that we can use here for salads. I did want to mention too that before I cooked it, I gave it a quick rinse in a colander. Quinoa grains are really tiny, so if you have a fine mesh colander, that works, or you can just line it with a thin towel or cheesecloth. Quinoa naturally has what's called saponins that coat the quinoa. It's just a naturally occurring compound, but it is a little bitter, so it does help to rinse it before you cook it. All right, so we have our cooked quinoa, and we are just going to start adding some colorful ingredients. We'll add a little bit of protein and then some feta for some flavor as well. All right, so we'll add some chopped orange bell pepper. This was about 1 small to medium bell pepper. You could use any color, that would be fine. And then we'll add some cherry tomatoes. These are just mixed color cherry tomatoes, and I mostly have them. If they were a little bigger, I gave them an extra little slice. It's probably a little more than a cup there. We will add some green onions that have been sliced. I used 2 green onions. Add those in. And then we're going to give this salad a little boost. I decided to add some beans, and these are just white navy beans. So it'll give this salad a little protein boost and also add some more fiber as well. We'll go ahead and give that a quick stir. And what's really great about this salad too is that with changing seasons, you could keep the quinoa, keep the salad dressing, and just add whatever vegetables are in season at the time. So in the spring, it could be asparagus, maybe snap peas that you add in. In the winter, it could be roasted butternut squash. So you kind of get the drift there. All right, for a little extra flavor and fun, I have some crumbled feta. This is probably about 1/3 of a cup. So we'll go ahead and stir that in. All right. And it just adds a nice little, saltiness to the dish and gives it a different texture. You could certainly leave it out, and that would be fine as well. All right, so it's looking so colorful already. We have so many different vibrant colors in here. We'll go ahead and add our dressing now. Give it a quick another little stir here. And we'll just pour it over. Just like that. And we'll stir it all together. The more you let this sit, the more flavor it will develop. If you can't wait, you could eat it right away, and that's totally fine as well. What's nice about this dish also is that in and of itself, it's really a complete meal. It has the balance of a complete meal. We have whole grains, we have protein, we have colorful vegetables, we have healthy fats. So there's a lot going on here. So it can stand alone as its own dish, but it could also most certainly be a side dish as well. So super easy to put together. You can play around with what you put in it with just the base of quinoa and the dressing, and it will still be delicious that way as well. So we'll serve this up in a bowl here in a minute. I'm just gonna put this back on here, and I'm going to switch out my trays, and we're going to get started on our second summer salad. All right, this salad, it's just a marinated cucumber salad. Very simple, but so flavorful. It's actually one of my most favorite summer salads, so I'm really excited to be able to share this with you. For our ingredients, all we're using is cucumbers. We have some green onions. We'll be putting in some fresh herbs. We have some mint, we have some cilantro, and then we'll be slicing some garlic. And then we have a very simple dressing, which is really just rice vinegar and a little sugar and some crushed red pepper for a little pizzazz. So that's all that's in here. So very easy and quick to throw together. And when cucumbers are in season, it's even more delicious, especially if you can get them straight from the garden. That's what I'm hoping for this summer. All right, so I have some cucumbers that have already been sliced, but I wanted to show you my favorite cucumber. This is a Persian cucumber. They're a little smaller than slicing cucumbers, definitely smaller than English cucumbers, but they're nice because they have a very thin skin. They don't have a lot of seeds, and there's really no bitterness to them. They stay really, really crunchy. So I love them for that. If you can't find a Persian cucumber, feel free to use just a regular slicing cucumber or an English cucumber. Anything is fine, really. I'm just going to cut this on the diagonal, really just because I think it looks pretty that way. And we'll add these cucumbers here to our bowl. I'll put this over here so it's closer. All right. So all in all, I think I used about 4 to 5 of the Persian cucumbers. If you were using like a regular slicing cucumber, maybe 2, or maybe 1 large English cucumber, and that would be good. All right, next we'll add some garlic. And first, we get to do the fun task of smashing it so that the skin comes off easy. I don't want to smash it too hard though, because I do want to slice it. So I know that sounds like a lot, but it wasn't very hard. All right, we'll get the skin off of here. And the garlic really, if you're worried about it maybe being too strong if it's raw in a salad, when it sits in the vinegar dressing, it really does start to mellow out. So it's usually fairly nice and mild by the time you get to eating the salad. All right, so let's get those papery skins over there, and we will just kind of thinly slice our garlic clove. And I'm just going to use 2. You could use more or less depending on what you like, what your family likes. We're big garlic lovers in my household, that's for sure. All right, get that there, and then we have one more little piece here. All right, let's get these into our bowl. And then basically we'll just kind of start layering our other ingredients in with the cucumbers. So I have about 2 green onions here that have been sliced. Sprinkle those in. This is a very nice, vibrant green dish. You know, pretty much almost everything that we're using is green except for the garlic. And then we'll add some herbs. So first, let's add some mint. Mint is wonderful in a salad. If you haven't tried it in a salad, I highly recommend it. Just adds a nice little burst of fresh flavor. Goes really well with citrus as well, if you like citrus in your salads. And we just kind of want a decent handful here. I know lots of people have mint that just, you know, grows naturally. It grows pretty easily outside. So this could be a good use of your mint. I also really like to use mint and cucumbers in water to make an infused water. So that's another idea for your mint. And then we'll just thinly slice our mint leaves here. It smells so good. All right. Looks good. So we'll sprinkle that on top here. And then we will also add some cilantro. And we also want a good sized handful of the cilantro as well. All right. I'm just going to tear some of that off. What's nice about cilantro is that you can use the stems, so you don't have to spend a lot of time, you know, like taking each leaf off of the stem. Unless you want to, that's okay, but they are edible. I usually just trim off the very ends of the cilantro and I use the rest. All right. Give it one more little chop there. All right, we'll add this to our bowl. Okay. Now we will add our dressing. So in here I have about 3/4 cup of rice wine vinegar, a pinch or two of crushed red pepper. If you're not a fan of spice, you could easily leave that out. And then to kind of cut the acidity a little bit, I added about a teaspoon of sugar. That's totally optional, but it does kind of help cut that acidity just a little bit. Right, so we'll pour this over our mixture. And then we are going to give it just a good stir here. You basically just want to be able to coat your herbs and, you know, everything else, the garlic, the cucumbers, everything else that is in here. And then I'm going to actually go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper too. Grind some pepper on here. Give it another good stir. And then you can eat this right away. Nothing wrong with that, but it will develop more flavor and the garlic will have a chance to mellow out a bit if you let it sit in the refrigerator to marinate for at least an hour. So you could make this earlier in the day and then enjoy it later, and it would be nice and ready to go. If you need to, you can always add more of the vinegar sugar mixture. But I just kind of like to coat it, and then as the cucumbers release their water, there will be more liquid in the dish. So you can use this as a starting point. All right, beautiful, very beautiful, vibrant green color, and very hydrating. Cucumbers are very, very hydrating, so good for those hot summer months. All right, so we're going to add a little garnish to this. I would do this right before you serve it or right before you eat it. We're going to be using some roasted peanuts. They just add an interesting element to the dish. A nice crunch. A little bit of, I did salt them a little bit, so a little bit of saltiness. Just going to give them a rough chop. If you were to add them to the dish now and then you let that sit and marinate, then the peanuts would lose their crunch. So I usually just kind of keep them on the side and add them before eating. All right, let's go once over this way. All right, so let's see how this will all look in a bowl, as if we were going to eat it. All right, and then we'll serve up our other dish too, of course. Let's see how pretty that looks. All right. So, let's layer some of this in our bowl here. We'll give it a little sprinkle of our peanuts. And that's it. It's ready to go. It's ready to eat. Delicious. All right. Let's serve up some of the quinoa salad too. You could really eat these two together. It would be a fantastic meal. Sit outside if it's nice. All right. Put this back over here. And here we have our finished veggie quinoa salad. So we have two wonderful dishes. We have our marinated cucumbers, our quinoa veggie salad, both great for summer. And again, you can find these on eatfresh.org. And thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. That's it for now.